Tuesday, March the 17th. That's right, Tuesday, March 17th. Using transitions. Use transitions to go deeper. Use them to compare, to add, to explain more clearly, to emphasize, to contrast, to qualify, and to show order, and to show cause and effect. Well, let's see how that works in real time. Let's go to the next one. There's many transitions that you can use, but let's go to a sample writing. Baseball is better for you than soccer. Soccer has too much running and smashing into each other. Soccer players are taught to pretend they are hurt. Baseball players are taught to be tough and ignore pain. Yes, little Johnny. Yeah, but Mr. Stang, some soccer players, they don't pretend that they're injured, and soccer is really good for you because you run more and you get in better physical shape, don't you think? Yes, I know. It's just for the sake of argument, Johnny. I know soccer is a good sport. Okay, thank you. All right, going on with that then. Let's see where transitions go. I'm going to just familiarize myself with some of these adding. I probably want to add some more stuff into my writing. I definitely want to add more stuff into my writing. Furthermore, additionally, then sequencing. There might be an order if I'm going to tell a micro story, and I am, and then I'll be able to use that. Illustrating, for example, for instance, in the case of, as revealed by, I've got something in mind for that too, cause and effect, therefore, consequently, lots of stuff. Comparing similarities, qualifying, however, although, unless, except, that might come in when you're doing your counter arguments. Contrasting, whereas instead of alternatively, if we are comparing baseball and soccer, we're going to be contrasting and qualifying. Emphasizing, above all, in particular, especially, significantly, indeed, notably. Now, emphasizing, you're going to have to use some of these because arguments are supposed to be strong. And in arguments, you emphasize stuff. So, shall we get started and putting some into our writing? Let's give it a try. Okay, baseball is better for you than soccer. And this way I put a transition in here. I made this very elementary so that there was none in there, but now there is. And, for example, soccer has too much running and smashing into each other. I might take the capital off of that. Soccer players are taught to pretend. Now here. Now, because they're running and smashing into each other, of course there's going to be sometimes they're hurt. And I'll just add that. And in these cases. And say I added that soccer players are taught to pretend they are hurt. And then I'm comparing that, right? Comparing. So, whereas baseball players are taught to be tough and ignore pain. Now I can say why that's good and why that's bad for you. And said, this, I might want to emphasize that's bad for you. Illustrate, okay, in particular. Okay, now I'm going back to that slide. This, in particular, is bad
for children, as pretending you are hurt is trying to draw a foul. Not a horse, a foul. That is teaching children that cheating is okay. Because you weren't fouled. You're only pretending you were fouled. That's a kind of cheating. So I'm getting into that. Okay, and then
I might say whereas, because I'm going to compare that to baseball too. I used whereas before, so let me see if I can find another transition for whereas to show contrasting. Instead of alternatively. Alternatively sounds good, right? Alternatively.
Learning to deal with pain makes you less of a complainer. And you will, and consequently, you will get more respect from peers. Now, peers are your friends, okay? So alternatively,
learning. Okay, then I wanted to tell a micro story, and you're going to have to tell a micro story. So I'm going to see if I can find a good transition for jumping into a micro story. Illustrating, for instance. So this one here is going to be this one, or we could say adding here, moreover, furthermore. But I think illustrating, because I want to illustrate a point by telling a micro story. So here I go. For instance, if a
soccer player gets injured and carried off on a stretcher, 90% of the time they just pop up and run back. I gotta make this all this writing small, into play. And then I want to compare that again, and we've used quite a few comparison things, but you can see in an
argument you're going to compare. So I jump back here, cause it emphasizing, contrasting, whereas instead of alternative, now I can say that conversely. That's why we have so many. Conversely. So let's try that conversely one in here. Conversely, if a
baseball player gets carried off on a stretcher, they will go directly to a hospital, and they will not play baseball for a long time. And I could add a percentage in there. They will go directly to the hospital. They will go, well, okay, I could add here 100% of the time. That's another trend. 100% of the time they will go directly to, I will not play baseball for a long time. So now we've added quite a few, and I'm just
highlighting. So today's highlighting is going to be in light yellow 2. Light yellow 2, got it? So when we go back to this, let's see, anything we added into your writing today is going to be highlighted. Here we had, for example, that was there, but the soccer
has too much running, that was already there. So highlighting, light yellow, go under here, 1 down, that's light yellow 3, light yellow 2, there it is. Soccer has too much running and smashing into each other. And in these cases, and this part we added today, so I'm going to highlight in light yellow there. Soccer players pretend they are hurt, whereas baseball players, and we added this one here, so we're adding a transition, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. Whereas baseball players are taught to be tough and ignore pain. This, in particular, and we said that's a transition, is bad for children. We added all of this stuff here, right? So we can add this because all of this came because we put transitions in there. Writing became more descriptive. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this all in, oh, sorry about that, that's not it. This one over here. Light yellow, red, light yellow 3, light yellow 2. And there we have it. So you're going to be adding a lot to your writing with transitions. If we skip down to
this slide down here, for you, you want to try to add 3 places where you can add transitions. Read at least one 4+ sentence micro story. So you want to really talk about maybe something that happened to you to prove your argument. It could be about that recess, you know, when you went out for recess and you were really tired, but you came back and then you were answering all the questions the teacher had. It could be about anything. The time that you were using your smartphone and you got lost and you found the map and you found your way to safety and all about that. Those are all micro stories. Or the time, if you want to argue the other side, the time you had your phone and you couldn't concentrate on your homework and then 2 hours went by and then it was bedtime and then you had to go to sleep and then the teacher was mad at you because you were playing that video game. Your micro stories, your life is going to come into your arguments. I've played baseball, I've played soccer, I've seen all of these different things happen inside of games. I would have many stories. Okay, happy writing. This is going to be due on Thursday. All right, good luck to you.